Hi, my name's Taylor. I am one of the NICU nurses, and I'm going to walk you all through drawing up blood products in the NICU because it looks a little different through our unit versus the rest of the hospital. So we're just going to use a bag of packed red cells. This is not typically the big bag that we'll receive in the NICU, but this is a wasted bag of blood anyway, so that's why we're using it. So after we've done our appropriate checks with our second person and scanning and verified that all the information is correct and it matches the tag and it matches Epic, we've calculated what our rate should be based on our order. We need to gather our supplies and hook it up, which is the different process here for our unit. So we have this tubing that's 1.7 mLs in the NICU that we use as our extension tubing to connect to the access point that we are going to be infusing to our babies. We will get a syringe, either a 30 ml syringe or a 50 ml syringe, depending on how much volume that we're going to be transfusing. And we like to get a larger bore so that we can prime through our tubing, because what's in the bag has to go through like all this excess tubing. So we do need a little bit more volume than what's ordered so that we can get it through all the dead space. And then this filter tubing comes with the blood. And if not, we're like panic calling you guys like, hey, please send us a tubing. Okay, so I've done my hand hygiene. I've got my gloves on because I'm doing my standard precautions. And I always just advise everyone to just clamp all the clamps to begin with. Take off the white cap, you attach whatever volume syringe, either the 30 or the 50, and then the extension tubing that's going to go to the patient connection point goes here. And then the spike piece is what I will use for the bag. Gotta get some muscle in there. And then we just kind of hold this up here, unclamp the first one, and then we will draw the blood. It's coming. So we generally, as I said, get smaller bags. So we'll typically draw up all we can in the syringe. That way we can prime out any air or bubbles or excess blood. And that way we have ensured that we have enough to prime the tubing. But I'm not going to do the whole volume just for example purposes. So kind of get all the air bubbles out, and then I will push this kind of back towards the bag so that I'm left with blood that's mostly air-free to infuse to the baby. Okay, so then I'm going to clamp that one to the bag. I'm going to unclamp the one that goes to our extension tubing that will go towards our baby, and then air rises, so kind of always trying to prime upwards.
And you said that extension tubing is, you said 1.7 mLs?
1.7 mLs, yes. And then this connects to like a T connector piece, which is like another 0.3 to 0.5 mLs of volume that currently has like fluid going through, like a saline lock. And so that will connect to there, and then eventually we'll scrub the hub of the baby's port, connect it, and start our transfusion on our LR smart pumps.
Do you ever run it with saline, or do you flush it
No,
after?
we flush it after with saline.
Do you all the way through?
We don't, unless we don't get enough blood volume, which is kind of our problem here. Yeah, so like this tubing that you guys send, I'd have to look up what the volume is, but obviously it's much thicker bore, so it's probably larger than 1.7. So if the transfusion volume is like 25 mLs and I only have 21 here, I can probably make up the difference by sticking a saline flush here and flushing the rest in to make sure that the baby got the order 25 mLs. Whereas if the baby only needed 20, I'm good to go. I can just push a saline flush right at the site of the baby and change that Q site for a new Q site following the transfusion. And then of course, completing all your transfusion documentation.
And as far as the volume that you document in a patient's chart,
yes,
is it off the Alaris pump or what you've pulled off in the syringe?
Or
a little bit of
we usually do like what was ordered,
right.
Which is usually what matches the Alaris syringe, unless we did not get enough quantity and we're waiting for like another bag to come up and they needed it emergently and we couldn't wait. But usually we are just documenting like the volume that was ordered.
Gotcha. Perfect. And the Alaris tubing that you're using is just typical. It's not the extra filtered blood tubing, correct?
So this is what we put on the
On the
Alaris
Alaris,
pump. We use a
okay.
syringe.
It's a syringe, okay.
It's a syringe pump,
Got
and
it.
so we use this on the syringe pump. It goes like this, and it pushes it in, and everything stays connected as is. And then we typically just take it all down and then dispose of it in a red bin, unless you had to disconnect here to either add a second syringe of blood because you needed more volume, or that flush at the end.
Got it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Taylor.